great reaction, interception.
So Burrow's turning it over left and right, but the Steelers' offense was bad, so it's just 20-14 late. Jamar Chase scores a touchdown, Dan, but what?
Well, Greeny, if he doesn't get in, we can completely challenge this because his right foot gets down and you see that ball kind of leak over that pylon. At worst case, we're going to challenge. It's an obvious touchdown, right?
Rex,
obvious.
They don't do it, and that sets up this fourth down. They don't get it, Rex.
Yeah, what a surprise. You ain't in there till you're in there. That's why you challenge that play.
They force the Steeler punt now. 30 seconds left. Bengals driving again. RC, this.
Oh, look at it. You know what school he went to, Greeny? LSU, the land where we don't need two hands, baby.
He was out of bounds. He was out of bounds.
It don't matter, Greeny.
It don't matter, Greeny.
It don't matter.
Next play.
Just a technicality.
The Steelers' season may very well have ended, unfortunately, on this play. T.J. Watt walking off. It looks like it's a torn pec. We'll talk about that as we continue. 4 seconds to go. How did they cover Jamar Chase?
Yo, why can't we double team the really good receivers from LSU?
Hey, Pittsburgh, how about this?
Not allowed to do that.
If there's a guy wearing 25, don't put him on Jamar Chase singled up.
But wait a minute. Minka Fitzpatrick blocks the game-winning extra point.
Because he's a badass.
It's why he got the bag.
What an extraordinary moment. Minka Fitzpatrick was unbelievable. We're tied at 20 going to overtime. 3.5 minutes in overtime. Evan McPherson, great kicker, lining it up for a game winner. Bad snap.
Long snappers matter. Pat McAfee said it yesterday. Don Muehlbach knows it in Detroit. But can we make a kick? McPherson's a great kicker. Had to hit the stripes on that one.
Game continues. RC, how about this catch?
This is gross. Deontay Johnson, who has had problems with drops, makes the biggest catch of the game, gets both feet in. They get the challenge, and they see that he got his feet in. That's a catch.
Here's Chris Boswell to win it from 55. Oh, my goodness.
Boink.
It goes one way, then the other, then the stoink. He can't believe it. Now, next Bengals possession. Critical moment. They just need to run the clock. They snap the ball with 15 seconds left on the play clock. Rex, we're going to talk at great length about it. It obviously was a critical mistake. Zach Taylor would acknowledge it afterwards, but that doesn't do you any good. When Mitch Trubisky is doing this, he actually plays well in the fast pace.
Playmaker. This is a really good job awareness-wise of understanding he's got the free play because the offsides, and then getting that ball to his big-time tight end, Fryermuth.
And so with 5 seconds left in overtime, redemption, thy name is Boswell. A 53-yarder for the win. So the Steelers take it in overtime. And after a lifetime of an afternoon, the question was, Zach Taylor, what?
We snapped her 13 seconds. I understand that. Trust me. We would rather do something different. But again, just trying to make sure the operation ran smoothly. It turned out that we sacrificed some seconds just to make sure that we were all on the same page there.
Rex, what were those words he just spoke?
He's protecting his coaches, his special team coach and the team. He's putting it on himself. No way in hell did Zach Taylor say we can snap it before that. He expected that ball to be kicked with 1 second left. As a head coach, you make damn sure it is. You tell your special team coach. You tell the punter and everybody else. And the fact that it didn't get done, he looked like a guy that was covering somebody's butt right there.
But, Rex, how does it play into it, though, that you have the bad snap on the field goal? You know you're dealing with a backup snapper. How much does that play into it that the special teams coach is just trying to get the ball off? Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy. Like, you got to prepare things. Here's what happens. Early in a season, special teams, and I was going to talk about, kicks and all that stuff. Yeah. Why they don't go. You don't practice a lot of live bullets, so to speak. You're not going full speed into those guys, especially with a backup long snapper.
Right.
And so when it happened, the ball came high, but the holder right there, a great holder, will grab the ball and spin the lace on the way down. He doesn't do it. McPherson ends up kicking the laces and misses the kick also.
That's on that kick. To be clear on the snap of the ball, they would have been much better off taking the 5-yard penalty.
Sometimes you do that on purpose.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sometimes you do that on purpose to give yourself that 5-yard cushion.
Absolutely on that. Now, when you're talking about the punt, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, 100%. But he's thinking, we're going to have a live clock go. I'm going to kick it with 1 second. That's what your coach. There's no way in hell you don't realize this at the end of a game.
Once you make the decision to punt the ball away, you realize that tie is very much so on the table.
Yeah.
And the only way you lose is for them to have enough time to go down the field. So the focus point at the very top of the list is
the clock.
Trying to take as much time off the clock as possible.
Yeah, look, and that's having a running. That's why you snap it at 1 second,
right,
where you have a running clock.
It's pretty simple math. They left 15 seconds on that play clock, and the game-winning field goal was kicked with 10 seconds left in overtime. So that part of it is simple. There's a lot, obviously, in that game. Let's start with Joe Burrow. This is his, he comes back after the Super Bowl. That's a tough day.
Not concerned about him, though. No. I'm not. I would tell you this. I am concerned about that remade offensive line because they got their absolute butts kicked. The reason I'm not concerned about Joe Burrow is because he played his worst game ever doing something that he does best, his worst. And that's seeing the field. You saw it early on in this game. Look at Jamar Chase on the sit route. You got the corner at the bottom of the screen. This is an easy progression to get to number 3 who's wide open. Joe doesn't see it, though. Naturally, he would. This is a pick on 4th and 6. RC, the nickel defender, has vision on him. He's staring right at him going, I'm going to force this football to you when the in route's coming in, and he throws it right to him. That's not the Joe Burrow that I have seen for the first 2 years of his NFL career. That's the Joe Burrow that really hasn't played football in like 8 months because of the offseason and then because of the hospital time with the appendicitis. Joe Burrow is going to fix that from week 1 to week 2. I am absolutely not concerned with Joe Burrow. I am concerned with those tackles.
And I am concerned with T.J. Watt. So, I mean, my favorite former Steeler here. When does a win not feel like a win? When your offense, you should have won that game by 50 points. So the offense didn't look good yesterday. And if they've lost T.J. Watt for the season, what does that mean?
First off, offensively, you're coaching like you lost this game. Right? If I'm Matt Canada, everything I say points to the fact that we were inefficient, that we never missed an opportunity to miss an opportunity. That's what that offense did. Now, if you look at yourself defensively, the game totally changes when T.J. Watt gets injured. Now you see Joe Burrow in the pocket being able to take his time, taking the checkdowns, continuing to move the football down the field. There's also the energy a great player like that brings. When I had James Harrison on the field, I knew there was one thing I wasn't worried about, and that's being punked on that side, right? I knew that people weren't going to go on that side and feel good about their opportunities. And so now that T.J. Watt is out, you have to coach differently because there's things that he does naturally that other people can't.
Yes. Rex, I mean, you're one of the great defensive coaches of all time. What words do we use to describe the impact of the loss for the season, which is what we expect? We hope it's wrong. We expect T.J. Watt to be done.
All the things Chris Godwin did for this team. We asked Byron Leftwich on the pivot, what wide receiver has he thrown to or coached that he thought would be at the top of those? First, he said Jimmy Smith, right, from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then he said Chris Godwin. He talked about his physicality. He talked about his versatility, all the things that he brought to the team. And when you lose a piece like that, it changes who you are schematically and also the comfort of Tom Brady.
The story of the Buccaneers this year has been bad news injury-wise. We saw it again with Godwin and also the left tackle, Smith. What's the story with him? I do think there's 2 takeaways, though, if you are the Bucs. One, Julio Jones and how good he looked and the usage that you can give him. Because if this offensive line can somewhat piece it together, you sit there, they gave Julio Jones some jet sweeps. They gave him possession throws. We saw the deep ball in the highlight. That was a nice part.
Quick screen.
And then also the ability to run the football. You know, I like the fact that Byron Leftwich put 2, sometimes 3 tight ends on the field. At least if they can do that, that will give them the opportunity to maybe get healthy a little bit more, especially on the perimeter with Chris Godwin. Leonard Fournette was awesome. They played physical football. That's the flaw of the Cowboys defensively. But if they can run the football somewhat like they did last night, that gives them at least a chance at every single game with their dominant defense and with Tom Brady playing quarterback.
That's the key. It's their defense.
It just gives them a chance.
That's their key, and that's why they won the Super Bowl. It's because of their defense. But running the football allows you to do that. But when I look at this Tampa team, everybody, Tom Brady at quarterback, that's great. But dang, and Julio Jones, where you're counting on Julio Jones, like that, to me, here's the deal. How's he respond? Like when you come back, when you get older,
how's he feel as the season goes on?
After that, can you recover?
With all the usage.
That's going to be the issue right there. If we're counting on him for 17 games, you got issues.
We'll find out. So we're talking about a legendary quarterback, Tom Brady, and does he have enough help around him to win? That's the story in Green Bay as well. The Packers in Minnesota yesterday. Aaron Rodgers visiting the Vikings. I want you to opening drive for Minnesota. All right, they're going for it on a 4th and 1. Where is the defense, Dan, around Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, newly acquired receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. Justin Jefferson, probably not on your scout on your report. Why would you cover him?
And then Rodgers, the rookie Christian Watson. He's wide open. Oh my God!
This is why we drafted. Oh!
Can't throw it better.
No!
Perfect design.
2 minutes later, Devontae Adams is routing people up in Los Angeles.
Packers come up empty second quarter. Rodgers for A.J. Dillon. 4th and goal, the Vikings.
Credit this Minnesota defensive front, though, Green.
Yeah.
A.J. Dillon is such a physical back. We saw this last year. They made that stop.
Oh, wait a minute. Why is Jefferson
Watch
open
when he catches
again?
the ball. He's even shocked. He's so wide open. He's like, ain't nobody near me. There's no defender within 10 yards. Good design. Really awful coverage by
Hits the gritty. 9 catches, 184 yards and 2 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers was busy getting destroyed all day long.
No one open. Late in the second quarter, it's essentially a Hail Mary. He's trying to make a big play with Cobb downfield.
Dan,
nobody's open.
It's a 50-50 ball, and one player is a better 50-50 ball catcher. Here's a hint. Ain't the black guy.
Third quarter. Packers again. RC. Rodgers just getting hit all day.
Listen, Aaron Rodgers had a tough day because no one could get open. They also didn't protect him. This turned into a high school spread offense because Matt LaFleur